Hi everyone, welcome back to the Coach Carter Career Legacy here on College Hoops 2K8. Last episode we had a few tough games. We managed to steal one from Northwestern State, but we lost by a large margin to Tennessee, which was expected. In this installment we're opening up conference play versus Jacksonville State. We haven't really played a team like Jacksonville State yet in the season. They're more of a half-court type team. They like to slow it down and take their time on offense. Let's get down to the Skyhawk Arena where we open up conference play. Here we go. I think the fans are starting to buy in here to Coach Carter's philosophy, as it's loud here in the Skyhawk Arena. Welcome back to Skyhawk basketball here in the Skyhawk Arena as Coach Carter and our UT Martin Skyhawks go up against the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. They are led by dynamic power forward Jabari Jones, who is 6th in the conference in scoring at 11.6 a game. They also have solid contributors like Keontae Holland and Marshall Drummond. Cartwright still has his starting job. We don't know how long that's going to last, as Dwight Easley has put that in jeopardy a little bit with his recent play, as the Gamecocks win the tip and Holland will stop the offense. Keontae Holland driving, that's swatted away by Cartwright, but a kick out to Jabari Jones, that's no good, but it eventually leads to a Marshall Drummond finish to begin the game. Back on offense here, the Gamecocks. Marshall Drummond, right wing, surveying the court, gives it into Jabari Jones coming off a screen, who spins, hangs, and cannot finish in double coverage, but the call is goaltending as Hammond was a little bit too quick to grab that rebound. Willoughby gives it to Holland, trying to drive on Joey Ballard, who throws a nice bounce pass inside. That is Maurice Alston finishing that one. Drummond gives it to Alston again, who misses the 15-foot jump shot, but Dominic Willoughby now trying to drive. Kicks it back out to Holland, who reverses it to Marshall Drummond, who drives baseline on Zubek, gets that around his long wingspan, and these Gamecocks are in business here early. Beautiful finish on the baseline by Drummond that time. 8-2 game. Here's Dominic Willoughby driving baseline. Crosses over, another finish on Zubek. Zubek not having the most fun time here early as Coach Carter calls timeout. Easley inside to Hammond. AJ Sullivan now checks into the game for the struggling Zubek, but Giles gets his ball tipped away from him, and then the Jacksonville State defender actually saves the ball off of Giles. Him just getting out hustled there. This has been an abysmal start for our Skyhawks, as they're not only getting out hustled on the glass, they're getting out hustled on loose balls, as you can see right there. It is Gamecock ball. 10-2 game, that's tipped, but in all the scrum that leads to an open layup. Assisting was Dominic Willoughby. You see AJ Sullivan trying to grab the steal, but that leads to an open layup. Dwight Easley throws it inside to Shaquille Hammond, who pump fakes in double coverage, finally gets something to go for the Skyhawks as he gets fouled. Hammond sinking the first free throw. That one rattles home. It's now a 12-4 game. Finally something positive for our Skyhawks. Reversing the ball around, Marcus Saunders wide open. That's off the front rim. Here come the Gamecocks. It's a 3-on-1. Dominic Willoughby. A little bit of a hot potato right there between Willoughby and Britton, but eventually that ends in a Willoughby jump shot with a foot on the line. Now a double-digit game. Dwight Easley pulling up from way downtown off the inbound. That's nothing but net. A very impressive shot right there from Easley, showing off the range. Jacksonville State 6-man Tariq Guerrero at the line. He throws up, that's off the front rim, but another offensive rebound. They cannot corral it, but eventually leads to a Jabari Jones layup as they failed to secure the rebound twice on that possession. Gene Schofield missing that. A nice pass from Easley, but he still cannot finish. 3 times the charm, yes. AJ Sullivan finishes off that play. Maybe a little bit more fight on the glass here as the Skyhawks, no! Dwight Easley gets his pocket picked, cannot recover in time. Now a 20-9 game as the Gamecocks are starting to take over this game here early as Holland finishes with the layup. 20-9 game. Easley working the ball around inside to AJ Sullivan, who has a mismatch, and he takes advantage. Now a 9-point game. Easley setting up the offense, trying to go to work. Gives it off to Schofield, backing down his matchup as Easley finds himself wide open. A nice pass from Schofield, working the inside-outside game. Easley trying to drive. That layup hangs on the rim but cannot fall. Here comes the Gamecocks again in transition. Britton Holland has a shot rejected, but Tariq Guerrero has Britton's back as he finishes that play. Britton Holland playing hurt this game. He's just recovering from a broken finger. We thought we were not going to see him today, but it turns out he's actually healthy, as Dwight Easley throws it into Schofield, who makes the contested 15-foot jump shot from the elbow. 22-15 game, 2.5 minutes left here in the first. Easley receives a screen. Does he have another triple in him? Yes, he does. 22-18 game. Our Skyhawks are right back in this game, as Easley's hot shooting has been the X factor today. Trying to drive on Easley. Working the ball around. Britton Holland with the shot clock winding down with a foot on the line. That's good. 24-18 game. Schofield gives it to Easley. Another three. That one's off the back rim. No good. Finally cools down a little bit. Schofield is left out to dry, however, is a 2-on-1 fast break where CJ Sidney finally finishes it off. 26-18 game. Shot clock winding down again. CJ Sidney increases the lead to double digits. First half winding down. With 7 seconds, our UT Martin Skyhawks finally go to work. 3 seconds, 2 seconds, gives it over to Blair Renfro in the corner. That's no good from the three-point specialist. An ugly first half for our UT Martin Skyhawks so far in this one. It's a 29-18 game. We're struggling to hit shots. We're shooting 25% from the field. We're struggling to secure rebounds. We're getting out-rebounded by double digits right now. And our full-court press is struggling to create turnovers. Just an abysmal half of basketball for our Skyhawks. A quick look into the locker room of the Skyhawks here, as Coach Carter is really letting his team have it. He wants them to crash the boards no matter what it takes. He wants them to narrow the discrepancy between rebounding of the teams. Our leading scorer at that half was Dwight Easley. He put up 8 off the bench, but it seems him and AJ Sullivan are the only bright spots. We need a better half this time around. Jacksonville State, on the other hand, has had very balanced scoring. You see a lot of 4s, 3s, 2s, everyone contributing. We need to close down the shooters, and not to hype on it too much, but crash the glass. The second half of action coming your way. Welcome back to the Skyhawk Arena. Our UT Martin Skyhawks find ourselves down 11, but Floyd Zubek gets us underway, cutting the lead down to single digits at least. But here comes Jacksonville State. Sidney up to Maurice Alston. That's good. Anything you can do, I can do better. The Gamecocks trying to put their foot on the gas to finish the Skyhawks early. Here's D. Cartwright setting up the offense. Seems like we're trying to be a little bit more patient this time around, but that can lead to problems as Marshall Drummond rips Hammond and finishes the two-hand slam. This is not how we wanted to start our second half of action. The stoked crowd is now out of it as Hammond attacks the basket ferociously, and that's a tough foul. Wow, what a collision right there from Dominic Willoughby, and Shaquille Hammond and Willoughby get into it a little bit after that play. Hammond has not exactly had the most prettiest game so far, and it seems like Willoughby wants to get in his head a little bit just to add insult to injury. Here comes Drummond, gives it off to Holland. Willoughby finding himself wide open, nobody even on that side of the court. Where was his matchup? 36-24 game. Here's Ballard. The Cartwright setting up the offense, throws it into Ballard, who throws up the post hook in traffic, gets that one to fall. That's his first basket of the game. And our Skyhawks keeping the foot on the gas as they keep the pressure high, and Hammond making the smart play, giving it out to Giles, who leaves that one short, but Zubek on the glass, no good. Ballard again, maybe leaves it short, but Ballard keeps at it, puts it in. That's resilience right there. Hopefully this is a little bit of a wake-up call, as these Skyhawks need to show a little bit of fight here if they want to get back into it. Giles on the break, stops short, gives it off to Hammond, who gets his defender up in the air with the pump fake. Hammond starting to come back from that awful first half. Here come the Gamecocks as they set up their offense. Holland receives a screen from Alston, and Willoughby is wide open once again. I don't know where David Giles is, but he's leaving him open constantly. Off the inbound, D. Cartwright trying A contested triple, but the offensive rebound goes to David Giles, who hands it off to Hammond, who uses the glass to score. Hammond shot around 30% in that first half, but he's quick out of the gates, making his first 3 shots here. Cartwright driving on his defender, and he finally scores a basket. It's been a while since I've brought up D. Cartwright for scoring, but there he is converting on that shot. Hammond with a hook shot, that's no good. Here comes Tariq Guerrero, getting a little bit too casual with it as he turns it over. Hammond, a beautiful pass over to Giles, no good, but Hammond with a rebound on Dominic Willoughby, gets his revenge, and one on Willoughby. Since the tough foul, these two have been going at it. I'm very proud of Hammond not hanging his head or getting frustrated after that tough foul. He's really turned it on here in the second half. Here comes Tariq Guerrero, that's rejected by Floyd Zubek. Coming back are the Skyhawks. David Giles slows down the break, and the UT Martin Skyhawks will go into the half court, but a beautiful demonstration of what you can do with the high-low game right there as Zubek gets an assist to Hammond down low. Saunders, a fancy pass inside to Floyd Zubek, finishing with the left hand. Our Skyhawks are on a 10-2 run here, as that's another steal. Hammond inside to Easley, using the up fake, getting the N1. Seems like every time we need a spark, our young guys come in and give us what we need. Beautiful finish there from Easley. Our student section's back into it. We have the lead finally, but we quickly relinquish it as that is a layup. Nice assist from Holland. Drummond converts on the layup. Easley inside to Hammond, who converts another layup. Nice pass from Easley. We have the lead again, and that's poked away by Saunders. Saunders pump fakes. Gives it off to Hammond. Moving well with the ball is Saunders down to the block. Another young guy with a big basket. Beautiful pass down to the block by Shaquille Hammond. Jabari Jones at the line. He made the first one. Can he convert on this one? No, he cannot, but Marshall Drummond, the shooting guard, in there with the big guys getting the rebound. I'm sure Coach Carr is beside himself by now. Gamecocks up by 2. Devion Baez receives a screen from AJ. Inside, Easley again. He now has 12 points to his name this game. Credit surely goes to Devion Baez for making that play happen. Gamecocks inbound the ball. Here comes the Jacksonville State offense as they get those 2 points right back. Assisting is Tariq Guerrero on that Jabari Jones layup. Now here comes our Skyhawks and all the madness. Devion Baez gets open for a very important three-pointer. But A.J. Sullivan not hustling back. Jabari Jones is wide open. He's got to come out of the game after that one. You cannot allow an easy layup just because you're not hustling. The big man has to be back there on the press. Dwight Easley, nobody covering the ball. Nobody stopped the ball. Dwight Easley giving us the momentum right back. When you think of the high flyers on this team, I don't think Easley exactly comes to mind, but he shows you why he should be in the conversation right there with a two-handed flush. Marcus Saunders trying to pull up 3. No good. Gene Schofield puts in the offensive rebound, however. That's his second basket of the game. Here come the Gamecocks trying to stop this run. It's a 3-point game. Jabari Jones gets that layup to fall. A bad day defensively from Sullivan. Marshall Drummond on the block. Reversing the ball is the Gamecocks. Holland driving, giving it out to Willoughby, who's open again from 3. That's his third triple of the half. Love him or hate him, you got to admit that Dominic Willoughby can play some basketball. You cannot leave him open. 57's here with 4:45 left in the second half. David Giles throws it into Shaquille Hammond, dumps it down to Zubek. The friendly roll goes. That one toilets through. Zubek in double figures. After a slow and miserable game in the first half, the pace is picked up, but that is Keontae Holland freezing Dwight Easley with the hesitation move. 59, Easley does not have another 3 in him, but he gets out-hustled there. Keontae Holland beating him up the floor as Easley just stood and watched that 3 after he released the ball. Easley with a dangerous pass. Zubek does corral it, however, as he gives it over to Hammond, who has the mismatch. He takes advantage. Another layup for Shaquille Hammond. Timeout Gamecocks. After the TO, here comes the Jacksonville offense as Keontae Holland setting up a play. A beautiful pass from Holland. Had the right amount of bounce. Had the right amount of power on that one. Giving in to Drummond, who has 14 this game. Hammond finding himself wide open at the free throw stripe. Surprised that nobody was on him there. 63 all, 3 minutes to go in the game. 2:30 now. Easley, another 3 attempt from way downtown, no good. But Joey Ballard comes in clutch with his 5th offensive rebound of the game. That leads to another open mid-range from Shaquille Hammond. He's coming in clutch this game as now he gets a steal, tipped by Easley. And that's a crazy layup. Cannot get that to fall, but Joey Ballard, 6 offensive rebounds this game. That's clutch. The UT Martin Skyhawks will pull it out. 5 seconds left on the clock. Hammond with a clutch shot. Cannot get that one to fall, but this time it's David Giles. And one. David Giles with the clutch offensive rebound. He's had a miserable game in this one, but he seems to have come up when it counted. That makes him 1 for 8 from the field and 1 of 1 from the free throw line, as it's now a 5-point game with a minute and some change left. Hammond with the turnaround. No good. 68-65 game. A 3 here can tie it. Holland driving baseline, throws it over to Marshall Drummond. He pulls up from the right baseline, gets that one to fall. 7 assists here for Holland this game. Dwight Easley with the ball. No D. Cartwright to be seen on the floor right now. Gets a screen from Shaquille Hammond, the freshman. Bang! 4-point game. 48 seconds left. Here come the Gamecocks. Dwight Easley with another 3-pointer. That's 3 threes this game. 17 points overall and a breakout game for him here as he tries to stop Holland from scoring. Gives it up to Drummond. Reverses it around to Willoughby. That's good off the back rim and in. 71-69 game here. Dwight Easley gets fouled. He's done it from the 3-point line. He's done it from mid-range. He's done it with his passing. Can he do it from the free throw stripe? Gets the first one to fall. Easley with 18 tonight. 3 dribbles. Hesitates. Throws up the second free throw. That one rattles in. 4-point game. Here come the Gamecocks. No more shot clock. Holland gives it into Alston, who eventually makes it back to Willoughby. That's no good. And that is a clutch rebound. 7 on the day for Hammond, who gets fouled. Hammond would make 1 of 2, and they would make a layup to respond. So now it's a 3-point game. Zubek can't get the first one. 7.5 left on the clock. 1 free throw and we win. Zubek takes 2 dribbles. The free throw's up. Off the left rim. Rebound, Jabari Jones. The Gamecocks trying to tie up the game here with a 3. The pass to the corner's tipped. Joey Ballard, another young player, making a colossal game-changing play here. If Ballard and his wingspan did not tip that pass, Marshall Drummond, who put up 16 points against us, would have had an open 3 for the tie. This game ends in a 75-71 win. We open up conference play, 1 win, 0 losses. Wow, what a game. Another nail-biting matchup on our home court. Leading the way was Shaquille Hammond, who had an incredible second half. But don't forget Dwight Easley with 19 points in 19 minutes. Zubek was in double figures. Despite the rough day shooting for David Giles, he came up clutch with that and one. The only basket of the game for him, but when your number's called in the clutch situations, you gotta perform, and that's what Giles did. Despite having 3 players in double figures, it wasn't enough for Jacksonville State. Now that our heart rates have settled down a little bit, we will look towards some recruiting news and also our next matchup, which will be against Morehead State. Our schedule's a little odd here, however, as we have 2 conference games, then we have 2 out-of-conference games before going back to and finishing up our conference slate. Now, the recruit signing period has ended. We couldn't get any commits before it concluded, but some bad news with Neil Young. We seem to not be able to catch a break as Xavier is now in the race for Neil Young. We seem to not be able to catch a break in recruiting this year. Looking forward to Morehead State. This is also another winnable game. They're about the same on paper as us. They have 2 injuries. Both guys will be performing. Nick Kavalauskas from Lithuania, their point guard, he'll be playing. And Royce Young, their second leading scorer, he'll be participating as well. They also have some other guys. Jaron Stewart, a 6'3 guard from Savannah, Georgia, leads their team in scoring. Royce Young, you see their second leading scorer, Isaiah Wardell. Cecil Lowe, a sophomore point guard they're very excited about. They have capable players, it just doesn't seem they're a very high-powered team, as they have nobody who's averaging double figures this season. Let's find out if we can go 2-0 to open up conference play. Getting the game underway here. The first half was a definite roller coaster ride in this one. We've seen our offense succeed, and we've also seen our offense plummet. But I feel like this first half was just a first half from hell, if you'll excuse my language. See, David Giles, he must have come down for a rebound awkwardly. He did get injured. He would remain in the game. We'll have an update for you after the game is concluded. But it seemed after that injury, Morehead State figured something out. It was tough. Our offense plummeted. You see our field goal percentage as a team went under 10% there for a short period of time, but we eventually rebounded a little bit from that, but still around double figures. Ever since the Giles injury, Morehead State's been on a run. Now it's up to 11. We can't seem to figure anything out. A combination of 9 turnovers and awful shooting. But our defense did keep us in the game for the end of the first half. We would close the gap to single digits for a while. It would go back and forth between, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14 here until the first half concluded with a score of 22-32 to go into the next half. Joey Ballard, of all people, was our leading scorer. That should give you a little bit of insight. 1 basket from Hammond, no baskets, and 4 turnovers for Zubek. Sullivan and Easley had decent first halves. Leading the way was Isaiah Wardell and Royce Young for the Morehead State team. Jaron Stewart also contributed 7 points from his side of things. The lead maintaining its form at about 10, 12. We really don't seem to be playing as much of a team right now. We only have 4 assists as a team. But a play coming up seems to be what turned the tides a little bit. Look, Cartwright fouled on a 3-pointer, sunk all 3. That turned the tide. Slowly and surely, we clawed our way back into this game. Morehead State is starting to call timeouts. Coach starting to get a little worried. 1 possession game here with 8:37 left in the second. Our field goal percentage starting to gradually increase along with our 3-point percentage, better shots. Our 3-point percentage is up to 36 by now, and we have also taken the lead here with 5.5 left remaining. We are on a 17-5 run at this point. 4 minutes left, less than 4 minutes left. Both offenses are at a standstill right now. We're just holding on to the lead by a thread. 2.5 minutes. Let's take a look at the box score. Cartwright's put up 11 points in the second half. He and Joey Ballard are the only 2 players that are in double figures currently. Gene Schofield is now playing center in the clutch as Zubek's had a terrible game. Schofield sunk a jump shot, making it a 5-point game with 1:30 left. We might have actually completed the comeback. 40 seconds left, up by 4. AJ Sullivan would sink 2 free throws to conclude the match. We come back, win by 7. Wasn't the prettiest, wasn't the most fun, but when it came down to it, we fought through the Giles injury, we fought through the horrid shooting percentage in the first half, we fought through the tough games from Zubek and Giles, but no blame whatsoever. You can't be on 100% of the time. All in all, we are 2-0 in Ohio Valley Conference play. But despite that fact, we have to put conference play on the back burner. We go up against Valparaiso, as they have one of the better offenses from a small school. David Giles came down awkwardly from a rebound. He sprained his knee. He is going to sit out. We're not going to risk to further aggravate that injury. This Valpo team will be a tough matchup indeed, as not only do they have shooters like Chris Colston, Logan Yates, Tyler Archie, but they also have a big 7-footer, Alex Dillon, inside to protect the paint. These guys have 7 upperclassmen, very experienced. Their only injury is Landry King, the backup point guard. He tore his ACL a few games ago. He's going to be out for the year. Alex Dillon had a little lower body injury earlier in the year, but he'll be 100% healthy for this one. For the first time this season, our Skyhawks have a winning record. Can they maintain it? Can they maintain the winning streak they've been on these last few games? We will face Valpo and Chattanooga in the next video, wrapping up our out-of-conference schedule. Stay tuned.